Hey, welcome back. So, we're going to jump into chapter 6, and I'm going to do something that I'm going to hope that it will help us have more messages before we run out, and that's doing one chapter per thread. I'm going to explain what I mean too. And again, I'm very sorry. I have COVID, so bear with me. I'm going to do videos as long as possible, and if I lose my voice and get really sick, then we'll take a couple days break. But while I can do videos, I'm going to do videos. This is a really cute series. So what I mean is that we have these threads here. And right now, this is all of the base information. This is the tropes. This is the actual book. But if this gets really long, we're A, going to have to restart a new thread anyway, and B, longer threads take up more, like it's a bigger context window, and then we run out of messages faster. So my plan is to use this information where we just talked about chapter 6. And then chapter 1 through 5 are right here. And then as we get chapter 6, I'll just replace chapter 5. Eventually this bar will get full, but it's not there yet. I'm hoping that we don't run out of room before we have the entire book in there, so it has the context, and then we can start the next book, and it knows the writing style, it knows what's going on with the characters, it has access to the entire first book. Because remember, there's 20 books in this series, and the outline says that we have 20 chapters, so 20 books, 20 chapters each. With that in mind, we're about a quarter of the way done with the first book, so we've barely scratched the surface of the series, and I like this series. It's turning out really, really cute. So what we're going to do is start a new thread, and to do that we're just going to do I'm going to take out the questions because I don't want it thinking I'm asking it anything. This is literally just what Claude told me in this message, which was the end of chapter 5 info. So see, and what I mean by starting a new thread gives us more info, more context window. We were getting small chunks, and I'll show you that too. Is this thread can't talk to this thread. So, sorry, copy context. I'm going to go ahead and paste without formatting. I'm going to see how much it gave us, which is a ton. It's a ton in one message. Stop, stop, stop. There we go. 1,200 words in one message. Versus See, this is much shorter. But do we like this more? We have this, and then we have this. I like this. So what we can do is I'm going to switch these because I like having the thread where the book is, and then the actual, no, we're not doing that, we're doing this. And then the actual up here, because I like having all that information handy still, especially since I'm just going to be replacing, you know, chapters 1 through 5. I'm going to just toss in chapter 6 too. Alright, so please continue. It is interesting that it gives, you know, both sides. Like, it gives two different options. So that would actually be a fun experiment too. You could have 3 versions of the same chapter. You could actually have like 10 versions of the same chapter and see which one you like. I'm not going to do that just because I don't need to. And it's going. That's an interesting little. See how this section ended with along with whoever's willing to die to protect them? This is along with whoever's willing to kill to protect them. I'm going to see if I like that. Or if it, because it could be like an interesting little, you know, almost like a cadence in a song. Or it could be something where it's really annoying and it's just an ai-ism. But I'm going to see in edits whether I like it or not. Yes, Claude, do your thing. I'm going to look at the outline to chapter 6. Colonial smuggling operation, tunnels, destroying historical evidence. Excellent. What's our word count right now? Oh, we're at 15K. Okay, cool. Copy that. Plop that here. Now we're up to 16K. Excellent. Sounds great. Let's do it. I'm also not seeing a ton of the normal ai-isms that I get a lot when I do romance books with Claude. That is, so yeah, that's really nice. I'm sorry guys, my brain is working at like 70% speed right now, and it's super annoying. And it's my first time having COVID, and I don't love the experience at all. But we're still gonna keep going. We still have things to get done. Ooh, the darkness claimed them all. Beautiful. Alright. And is that this? You have the title for chapter 7 as Silenced Chimes, but in the outline it's this. Do we need to adjust chapter 7 at all? I like it, I like it, I like it. Alright, so probably 2 chapters at a time in this. It makes it a little more broken up. I would rather just do the whole book in one thread, but I like having the longer context windows. And I absolutely can't stand when we actually run out of space in a thread and then have to redo everything. Now, the reason that I didn't move this book from Claude, even with the message limits and even with running out of the threads, is because, so when I was thinking about it, I related it to, you know, you have a really long-term relationship. Maybe you've been with somebody for 5 years, and then all of a sudden that relationship ends for whatever reason, and you get back to dating, and you have to kind of explain to somebody what you like and how you want to be treated and how you want to be taken care of too. And then they have to explain that too. And it's this whole big dialogue. And that's great if you're starting a book and you're starting a new series, but we're not. We're a quarter of the way into a 20K or a 20 chapter book with 20 books in the series. This Claude knows all of that. Now, if I took this Claude or if I took this book and went to like Open Router with that Claude, sure, it would pick up. But it would pick up after a lot of back and forth and a lot of conversation. And so I weighed that, the whole back and forth, the whole, this is the book, this is what's happening, this is the outline, this is my writing style, here's the chapters. I weighed all that against having the message limits and running into those roadblocks. And if this was my only book that I was writing, sure, I would probably be like, you know what, I can't do this, this is too much. It's frustrating, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you know what, when we hit those roadblocks, the video ends, it's fine, we move to a different book. I've got 6 going right now. It's like, okay, you need to take a break, you need to switch to laundry, go do some dishes, do something, and then go work on your other book, because it's like a 3-hour break that it gives sometimes, where it's like you're out of message limits until 9 a.m. Okay, fine, I can handle that. If I was only writing this book though, and I say only had 1 day a week, maybe I could only write on Saturdays, maybe that was the day that I had absolutely nothing going on, then yes, this would drive me absolutely nuts because it would cut into my productivity. Because I would want to sit there and work on something for 8 hours straight. And to do that, I would need something like Open Router or Raptor Write or Novel Crafter. But because this isn't my only book, And because I don't have just one day to sit and write, I'm going to work within these parameters, within these limitations, that even though I have a paid subscription, which is stupid that I have these limits, even though I have these limits, I like this enough to stick with it. You may not, you may see those message limits and you may be like, you know what, this is the most ridiculous thing. I had that when I had my mini rant, and I've had it before when I've run into this, because honestly, at $20 a month, you should not run into that. But I'm hoping that by just doing 2 chapters per thread, we don't run into it as often, because the issue that we run into is that the messages get too long, the threads get too long, and then before we're actually cut off, we just start getting those smaller windows and those smaller chunks. And you know what, that's fine if you're okay with it, but you know, I want the bigger chunks. I want to continue on a book. I want to be able to show you guys that, hey, you know, we're getting progress done. It's not, oh wow, we were able to get half a chapter done and then we stopped, because that's so frustrating and it's stupid, honestly. So by doing 2 chapters at a time per thread and keeping that book in the actual over here part, so that it has it, we're going to be able to continue on faster. And I'm going to be able to show you more without getting so frustrated. And it's going to be fine. We just have to keep it on track. So with chapter 6 done, I'm going to go ahead and Control A, Control C, I'm going to add context, add text context. Chapters 1 to 6 for context. Book 1, artifact. Artifact of death. Add context. Yes, it's a very large file, and it's up to 28%, but look at this. Now it's down to 17% because we don't need 1 through 5 and then 1 through 6. We just need 1 through 6. We just replace it with what we get. Control Enter to make a page break. And then, yes, please start chapter 7. 7. We don't need to include his last name. We've had him for 6 chapters. We know who he is. Copy context. Toss it here. Interesting. We've got diaries, we've got lockets. I love family secrets, like old small town family secrets. Interesting. This is going to be a fun series. I like it. And I like Evie, and I like Marcus, and I like that it's not something where it's such a relationship romance focused. It's more the plot driving it forward. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Yes. That. Yes, please. Toss that in here. We're up to 20K. Yay. Ugh. Terrible. Copy that. Paste that here. Since it has already made a mistake, let's look at this. Chapter 8. Hidden messages. Hidden messages. We are on track. Chapter 8. Breaking at the museum archives. Breaking. Evie and Marcus. Oh, they're gonna have their first kiss in this chapter. That's so cute. Are they actually gonna kiss, or are they gonna be interrupted? I think they're gonna be interrupted. I want like a hint of a kiss, but not an actual kiss. Let's not get too physical in book 1. I mean, we've got 20 books to build their relationship. Maybe they'll get married by the end. Maybe they'll have a baby. I don't know if I'm gonna have them have a baby. Maybe they get married. I don't know. This is super cute. Alright. So, we got 6 and 7 done. I'll go ahead and Control C, Control A, Control C. Add context. Add context. Chapters 1, 2, 7 for context. Book 1. Good effect. Add context. Yes, it's a very large file, and then we're going to get rid of this. Remove that. Now we're back down to 20%. So, with that being said, we may not be able to have, and we're almost a third of the way done. And actually, there's only 20 chapters. So, we're almost halfway done. Is that 40%? Maybe a little less than 40%. Oh, God, I suck at math, even when my brain's not completely destroyed by stupid sickness. But yeah, chapter 7 is done. We're going to jump into 8. This is going to be able to handle all 20 chapters. And then I'll have just a couple chapters, maybe like 18 to 20 in here, so that it knows the writing style and knows kind of what's going on for book 2. Which, you guys are going to see all 20 books if you really want to. Which, I mean, I'm excited to do a 20 book series with the same characters. I think that'll be really fun. I want to see their progression. I want to see how they changed and how their relationship develops and Evie's place in the town and all these other little mysteries that are happening. I'm really excited for this series. I need to figure out a pen name for it. So let's start. I don't know why it's not started yet. But yeah, I need to figure out a pen name because it's going to be a whole new pen name. And I've started on the covers. You'll probably see those covers up. I made a video, so I like the person cover the most, but it's going to be hard to do over 20 books to keep consistent. So I'll probably go with one of the illustrated covers, but I gotta figure out which one, which style. And thank you all for being here. We did 2 chapters today, so that was really fun. And we're going to do some more chapters later today and tomorrow. And yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for following along with the series. It is a lot of fun. Alright, I'll see you all soon.